Hello everyone, Namaskar, Arvidi here, and welcome to my next video of my playlist, A Course on C Programming, where C Programming is simplified. In this video, we'll be looking at the concept of switch case. In the previous video, we have seen what is the concept of if-else ladder, and if you remember in that I have said if-else ladder and switch case basically go hand in hand. So both of them, they have their control flow in a similar way. Only when it comes to a programming or implementation, C has provided two options. One is of if-else ladder or one is of switch case. Okay, so we're going to look at how exactly the switch case can be created, can be implemented, and how it will be treated internally in the background. Okay, so before we go ahead, again a humble request to everyone. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, do subscribe to my channel. And there are multiple playlists. One is about C programming, then we have something about data structures, we have even analysis of algorithms, and soon I'll be starting with some more playlists as well. So if you have not yet visited all the playlists, do visit them and try to explore the other videos. Do watch, like, share with others so that those who are in need of a good material on such topics will be able to connect with me. So let's go ahead. So I'll be going with the switch case first. So let us see what is the syntax of switch case and how exactly we can use it. So switch, as you can see, is a keyword. So let us look at the syntax. Basically, switch case is used when I have to provide multiple options or I have to perform actions depending on the choice out of the multiple choices given. Okay, so it is also called as selective conditional control structure. Okay, so if I have switch and there can be some expression. Now, as far as the type of expression is concerned, C only allows you to have expression which can have either int value or char values. Okay, so there could be any expression or it could be a simple variable, but it could be only of type either int or char. A switch has its own block, so we have to have an open brace and close brace, and everything will go within that. Okay, now what we have here is a case keyword which represents individual case. Now that case needs a label. Okay, so I'm just writing as label 1. Okay, you can understand the meaning of less than greater than sign, that we don't have to write label 1 as such. It will be replaced by the label. So if it's an integer expression, the labels will be integers like case 1, case 2, case 3, so on. And if they are characters, then again it could be 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C, D, anything, but in that case, you know, it has to be represented within single quotes. So case label 1 colon, you can have number of statements. Then we can have case label 2. Again, we can have multiple statements, and that's how it's going to go ahead. So let me end the switch case here. So that's how it looks like. Now what exactly it does, there are a lot of things I'll be adding further, but just try to understand first step by step. So expression will be evaluated. So whatever value of that expression would be, that value will be compared with each label one by one till the time it matches. So it will be compared, the value of expression will be compared with label 1. If it matches there, great, the body will be executed. If it doesn't, then it will go to label 2, label 3, and so on. Okay, so that is how exactly it compares, and it tries to identify a particular case which is going to match. But the problem, I would say problem actually, but maybe the issue over here is whenever an expression matches with any particular label, the corresponding case will be executed, but after that, it will not be coming out directly out of the switch. It will execute all the further cases. That's actually is a concept of fall through. So what I'm trying to tell you is, suppose there are, let's say, 10 cases. So label 1 doesn't match, case 2 also doesn't match, case 3 matches. So it's going to directly jump on case 3. So there's no problem with case 1 and case 2. But after case 3, it'll execute all of them, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to last, because it falls through. Now that fall through is actually an advantage. When I'm going to go ahead with the problems or programs on switch case, I'm going to explain you how this fall through can be utilized properly. But there are many times where we don't want this fall through, and that fall through can be avoided by putting break at the end of each case. So I can put a break like this. Okay, maybe the last case we don't need to put the break because anyways it's going to come out by default after the last case. Now, so what will happen is if at all the first label matches, it's going to jump here, it'll execute this the whole set of statements, and the break will make it to come out of the switch case. So this is a new introduction to us, a break statement. It's going to break the control and it is going to come off the immediate block. Mind you, the individual cases are not considered as block. You can't see any opening brace and closing brace even if there are multiple statements, because that is being handled by the case keyword. As soon as you start writing the body of the first case, it will be considered as the body of the first case till you write the case keyword again. So let that be one statement or 10 statements. Okay, so the break is going to break out of the switch block. So remaining cases won't be executed. Now many a times it might happen that this expression does not match with any of the case labels. So in that case, there's a special case that we can write that is called as default. Okay, we don't have to write case default. It is only a default. It's like considered to be a special one. And again, we can have some body, or generally here there'll be a single statement which represents an error, that invalid input or invalid choice or something like that. Okay, you can very well put a break after that also, but it's not required if you put it at the end. Again, there is no fixed sequence as such. You can put default anywhere within the your case sequence. Only thing is that it will compare your expressions value with all labels, and only if it doesn't match with any label, it will go for default. Okay, so for that, it need not be the last case, even though we feel ideally it's better to have the default at the end, because it gives you the feel that it doesn't match with anything, then it is obviously going to go for default. So that's the overall syntax for switch case. Let us try to look at one example so to make it more clear. So suppose I've got switch num. Okay, so the number represents an integer value which is given by the user, and assume that it would be anything out of, let's say, 1, 2, 3, and I want to display that in words. Just a simple example. So I would have my labels also integer. So case 1, I can simply have a printf statement. So printf 1. Okay, now as you know that we require a break, otherwise it will fall through. Then we'll have case 2. Okay. Likewise, we'll have case 3 also. Obviously, whatever number of cases you want, you can have. Currently, I'm just going for a simple example, so I'm taking only 3. Okay, so likewise, we have 3 cases. Now see, ideally, we will be putting message at the beginning that enter any integer out of 1, 2, 3. But we can't expect the user to be so intelligent. It might enter something, or by mistake also it might enter something other than 1, 2, 3. So we can very well have a default case where I can simply printf the error message saying that invalid input. So input was supposed to be out of 1, 2, 3 only. If you have entered anything other than that, it's a invalid input, and that's the end of the switch case. Okay, so I've already shown you how the flow diagram of if-else ladder looks like in the previous video, and if you remember, I said the same thing happens for switch case. But just to have a reiteration, maybe in a very rough manner, I can say, so this would be the expression. So I would rather check if it matches with the first label. So if the expression's value matches with the first label, in the rough way I'm writing ex equal to 1. Try to understand the meaning of that. It compares the expression value with the first label. Okay, it could be either true or it could be either false. So if it is true, it's going to execute all the statements which are there under case 1, and then it's going to go to stop. or it's going to go down further. Okay, if it is false, it will be checked with the second label. So if it is matching with the second label, again if it is true, it is going to do the same thing and then it will come out. Now it might happen that it doesn't match with second also, then it will be checked with the third. Okay, if the expression value matches with the third one, it is true, then it's going to execute the body of the third case. And suppose if it doesn't match and we don't have further cases, so by default it's going to go for a default case. So that's the default case here, and then it'll get over, or it'll go ahead with the next one. If at all you observe, if you have not seen the previous video of if else ladder, you should go ahead and see that. You will see the similar flow diagram was shown. So that again concludes that if you look at the internal part, the logic behind if else ladder and the switch case both are same, or the logic is same, but the way we can implement them would differ. Okay, so that's exactly what we have to understand. Okay, so the video was about switch case. Okay, I hope you have understood the concept of switch case properly, the syntax of switch case, and we have taken one example and I have reiterated the flow and I've shown you that it is quite similar to if else ladder. Okay, in further part we will be taking some programming questions again. So some questions will be on if else ladder specifically, some questions will be on switch case, and as and when we'll discuss further, you will also try to understand that when it is preferable to use if else ladder and when it is preferable to use switch case. Okay, we can even go for some questions where nesting of switch case is required, and we'll see how exactly it get executed. So a lot of good things are going to come your way. Fine, so for the current video, it was about switch case and we have completed that successfully. So that's it for this video. Thank you and a very happy learning.